All right, man, what it is, man, it's Young Deuces by the way of the north side of the mill, 66th Street. Shout out to my niggas from the Meadows. Bergie, what up?
So how you doing today, my brother?
Man, just out here grinding, man, staying busy, staying blessed and highly favored.
So what you got going on today?
Today, like right now, like I said, I'm trying to put the rap set on this project that I'm working on, doing a re-record process.
What's it called?
The project is going to be called All I Ever Wanted Was Opportunity.
Okay, that sounds dope.
Yeah.
So how many tracks you got? I know you got some info for me.
Yeah.
What's the word on it?
Man, I mean, like I said, we got we're gearing around 13 tracks. I may bring it down to 12 depending on. So pretty much, I just like during COVID, I was recording myself, so I can just get this music together and everything like that. And now that I got all the songs that I want, I'm going to re-record them so that way I can have them, you know what I'm saying, with the best quality out there. Liv gonna be engineering it, so for those, shout out Prof and all UMG gang. But Liv's gonna be engineering this project, so he's gonna get everything sounding right. Got a couple of dope features on there, man, that I'm working on. So yeah, man, it's gonna be a dope project.
So you say you grew up in Milwaukee?
Yeah, man, grew up in Milwaukee. I'm a military kid, so you know what I'm saying, like my pops was in the military, so I was raised around the world, but I was born in Milwaukee, grew up in Milwaukee from like 7 years old and up. The first 7 years I was all over the world.
Like what's some places you were at?
We lived in Cali for a year. We lived in Hawaii for 2 years, and I lived in Germany for 4.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah.
So that's really a wide range of shit. So you were probably introduced to a lot of different stuff, like a lot of different cultures.
Yeah, and what's funny is my life and the way I grew up was a little bit different because when you're living in the military and you're on base, you have this small knit community, right? So it's kind of like I'm right off the rip. I'm living in middle class America. Got used to that, right? So I remember when I moved back to Milwaukee, you know what I'm saying, and Milwaukee is it's a heavy impoverished area, in certain areas it can be. And so my pops, he was still stationed out in Germany, and mom, we moved here, and because we couldn't have all the income that we needed to have our own house, we ended up living with my aunt. And so we end up living smack dab in the hood off of 14th and Lloyd Street. So it was I went from middle class America to being introduced to the hood. At that point I didn't have that in me. So it's just being able to see, kind of go the opposite way and then come back around. I got to see things from a different perspective. I got to see all right, this is middle class America, but this is how my people's and how general the hood is. So then once I started, having to live through that and kind of have to deal with that until we was able to get our funds together as a family and start, trying to get back to things where it's I was just thrown into the jungle and had to, find my way around that way.
Yeah, I feel you, man. Milwaukee can be a rough spot. Even, years ago.
No, yeah.
It only got worse, but it wasn't good.
Yeah.
So when did you start doing music?
So, I always tell the story that I've been doing music since I was a kid because my pops, even though he was in the military, he also was a DJ and artist. So some of my earliest memories of music was when we was living in Hawaii. He used to have his band, and he was the MC of the band. And I remember them recording their album. And my pops used to have this rap about Dr. Martin Luther King, which was the first rap that I learned and that I know and that I ever spit. And I used to spit that during every Black History program as a kid. So then that's always been in me. But I think that where I started to do music specifically probably would have been middle school. Me and my niggas, we would we was heavy influenced by No Limit. So we had this notepad and we would each page would be a page dedicated to I'm gonna do a page. Then I, between classes I get a notepad to my nigga P-Rock actually. So, shout out P-Rock Promise from V100. But he would have his page, he would write stuff on there. And we kind of was just we had our own little thing that we would do. And we would just make all these songs. And then because my pops, he's a computer engineer, I always had a computer at my hands. So I would write up the raps, make it look like an actual song page. I would make up mock-up CDs and shit. We didn't, at that time we wasn't recording. So we had albums, but they were just written out albums in folders and fake CD covers and shit. But middle school was when that really started.
So when did SNYD start to develop?
So Bergen Streets, that's my cousin. That's like my first cousin, like real life family. So it started, I would say, I'm going to say SNYD generally started probably 2003. So what it was, and that was like my junior year in high school. So me, P Rock, and Bergie, we all had our own separate crews, right? And like because Bergie went to a different school, but like you know what I'm saying, that's my cousin, so he was always over. I had my crew, P Rock had his crew. Now my crew was full of my niggas, and they really wasn't like super serious about the music, but they was just my homies, and they saw that I did it, and we just kind of it was like our clique or whatever like that. So I remember just like I bounced around schools to schools. I didn't stay at one school, and I just remember when I was like about to go to the same school as Bergie, and I was like, man, at this point, I was like, my crew, they ain't really serious. You got actual spitters with your crew. I'ma just roll with you. And then he was like, nah. You know what? He was like, let's just start something new. So then me and him, like we had started EMP Entertainment. P Rock, he was doing his own thing at that time, and we had started EMP Entertainment. And then like as we started EMP Entertainment, like me and Streets, we would just do so much music with each other that we kind of naturally turned into a group.
Because it just gravitated and it made sense at that point. Like y'all had that much stuff together. It's just like we married now.
Right. And then we just kind of went on a run with that, man. We just kind of went crazy with it.
So what year is that then?
That was like 2003.
That's still all 2003. So you linked up and you just start pumping it out. So when do you guys start performing?
We started performing probably 2000. Well, so we used to perform at the schooools. You know what I'm saying, in 2004.
Like the talent shows and stuff like that?
Yep, like that. So here's what's the crazy part. And I got nothing but love for Prof and Extra out and Andy from UMG because like we had a different mindset. So when we started doing music and everything like that, our main goal was we need to shine out in these other areas. So we had all these DJ connects and we would be doing stuff, you know what I'm saying, and they would put us on. There was this website called Hip Hop Game. Our music would be up on there.
Okay, I remember it.
Yeah. So we would
hiphopgame.com.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Shout out 730 over there. But like we was on like all these like East Coast websites, these DVDs and shit, right? To the point where people in the city didn't think that we was even from here. And then I just remember, matter of fact, I actually just told me the story. I remember Andy reached out to us, and this is when everybody was performing on the East Side and everything, and they was doing Stonefly, and he was like, "Yo, we want y'all to come perform with us." You know, we was like, "All right, cool, yeah, we'll definitely come." Because we was like, at that point, we didn't really do shit in the city, and we was like, "Hell yeah, we'll come, we'll perform." And they was like, when y'all gonna be back in the city?" And we was like, nigga, we here. Like, what you mean back in the city? Because at that point, they thought that we lived somewhere else.
You were just making them kind of moves that it just didn't seem like you were from here.
Right. And so, like, what's funny is probably like 2-3 weeks ago, me and Liv, because we have a podcast, and we'll probably get into that later on, but we was talking about just like our history in the city and music. And Liv was like, he had always fucked with us because he had did a production on me and Street's first album. And he was like, he told Andy about us, like, look, if we trying to get some other people, get Streets and Young Deuces. They dope. They definitely will bring that vibe. And then like, so when he brought us there, what was crazy was like the love was crazy because it was Prof, Yodot, Cash, I do believe Born Brothers.
Shout out my brother Yodot too. He was one of my first interviews. Yeah, that's my brother.
Shout out Yodot for real. That's definitely fam. Born Brothers, and I think Cranberry Show. And then they had us. So like it was dope because like they had already been rocking with each other like tough, but like we were the new ones in. But like they welcomed us, you know what I'm saying, with dope arms and like allowed us to perform. We rocked that show, and then like at that point like that connection was made, and then we just did like a 2-3 year run of just doing shows all over the city with those collectives.
So it's safe to say you've done a lot of shows too, then.
Yeah, man.
Over time.
Yeah,
so
we did.
What was your favorite or your biggest opportunity?
So you know what's funny? So our biggest opportunities was when we performed at the rave and we got a chance to open up for B.O.B. and Lupe Fiasco.
That's dope.
Yeah. Now this is this story makes it funny because like there was a lot that went into it. So like one of the things that we do and that I pride myself on is how we market. Like we can market the shit out of some shit, right? So at that time we were sponsored by Crunk Energy Drink, and you know what I'm saying, the rave was here, and I saw that the tour was coming on, and so like, you know, Crank Energy at that moment was just a product sponsor, and so I was like, bro, I was like, if we can get this slot, this would be dope as fuck. But I was like, you know, for me personally, I'm like, I ain't trying to pay, you know what I'm saying, because I'm like, I don't like to pay for perform model. So I hit up the people at Crunk and I was like, look, there's this big concert coming to the city. If y'all can secure us a slot, this is the people's info. This would be dope as fuck because it'll be a good look. We can have Crunk banners and everything like that, right? So we got the slot and everything like that and everything. So then I'm like, all right, let's make this huge as fuck, right? So like I'm all about the look, and like my graphic design people at that time was on point. So I hit them up. I said, look, this is the actual It was the Step and Laser tour for Lupe. This is the actual Step and Laser tour flyer, and it was like a generic, just a flyer with the cities and everything like that. But he had like a logo, and I was like, I gave it to my guy. I said, make this flyer, and I said, I want Lupe here, B.O.B. here, Streets and Deuces here on the other side. So he did it, made it, had all the logos and everything, and we went crazy with the promotion. Then out of the blue, probably like a 4 or 5 days before the show, we get a call, and then the call is from the people from the rave, and they're like, "Hey, so we love that y'all performing and everything, but there's a flyer going around, and B.O.B.'s manager called us, and he was saying that we got to stop moving out that flyer." Now at this point, that flyer was already rocking and rolling, and so I'm like, why are they upset? Then it was like, well, they're saying that you guys are making it look like you're at the same level of B.O.B. and like that, you know what I'm saying? That it's a bad look for them, and so we like wait, what do you mean? Like how? Like because like the way we did the flyer, Lupe was here. B.O.B. was here, we was here, but we was even smaller than B.O.B. And even in the tagline, it was Lupe Fiasco featuring B.O.B. and Streets of Young Deuces, right? Now, granted, like the B.O.B. and Streets of Young Deuces, like we was on the side stage, so we wasn't on that main stage. But like, and it does still look like we was still opening at that time because we was. But like I didn't get it because I'm like, you coming to our city, you know what I'm saying? We showing y'all some love, we hyping it up because people like, oh, we definitely want to come out see Streets of Young Deuces and B.O.B. and Lupe. Like it was a dope ass look. So then, what the funny thing is, like during that time, me and Streets, we would go to all these music conventions and everything. And so we knew B.O.B.'s main DJ, which was T.J. Chapman. And we knew B.O.B. So I was like, but we never really met his manager. So the day of the show, like we had stopped. I was like, we're not going to send out any more emails or continue to pump it. But other people was already pumping. It was too far gone at that point. So then the day of the show, DJ Bison, he did a meet and greet. And he was like a B.O.B. meet and greet, and then he said, "Yo, I'm gonna give y'all a table as well." So then, like, you know what I'm saying, we sitting at the table. I see TJ, I dap it up with TJ, like, what up? See B.O.B., dap it up with B.O.B. And then like Streets. So for those who know Streets, everybody knows Streets got a mean grill. Like he can like if he iced, he's iced, right? So like TJ he put me to the side, and TJ Chapman was like, "Hey man, what's good with Streets?" And I'm like, "What you mean?" He was like, "Yeah, man, I forgot B.O.B.'s manager's name at the time, but he was like, yeah, he's saying Streets mugging him or some shit like that." I'm like, "Nah, he ain't mugging him." I'm like, "But you know what I'm saying? We do feel some type of way." And TJ was like, "What's going on?" I was like, "We get a call." So I explained to him what's going on. TJ Chapman didn't even know about the call. B.O.B. didn't even know about the call, so it was strictly his manager. So then when TJ pulled his manager to the side and told him like, no, these are homies. Like this is all love. You know what I'm saying? We in their city and stuff like that, and we squashed it. But like it was just funny, and that kind of gave me notification that the way I market is on point. Because if you feel that threatened, that some local motherfuckers that you thought was local was pumping out this and that we was looking like that, like, oh yeah, we on it. And like ever since then, like the way that I market shit, like people always be like, "Oh man, yo, I saw this here, and like it surprises me, but then it doesn't because I know how I approach shit. So like that probably would have been like, I know it was a long ass answer, but that was probably our biggest show.
Yeah, man. Nobody they probably look at these little local motherfuckers, and all of a sudden you got some little buzz bushing right off these little flyers, and they're like, hold up, now.
Right, you
this
know,
B.O.B. show. And then, too bad Lupe didn't come out the cut like, no, that's my show.
Right. But like that was it was dope to me. But like that also goes to like this Milwaukee grind. Like one of the things we always talk about, like niggas in the city, man, people in Milwaukee, we go hard, man. And like, you know what I'm saying, like that was like that just do like nah, we gonna go hard, we gonna pump it, we gonna grind, we gonna make sure that you see this. Yeah.
That's what the city needs, I feel. But let's switch it up a little bit. Let's talk about what is it called? One-on-one with Young Deuces?
Yeah, man.
So is it a podcast? What do you call it? What do you?
It's a derivative from our podcast. So I run a podcast called Geek Said Podcast. We call ourselves the only podcast. Excuse me. We call ourselves the only podcast that blend hip hop culture and geek culture together in one place. But because of like the connections that I made and the shit that I pay attention to, I was like, I want to have extended conversation with certain people that you and get them to talk about shit that you don't get to see them talk about most of the time. And so I started this series, which I actually started during COVID, called One-on-One with Deuces. And I'm just like reaching out to like the people that I fuck with, but also some people that I think have a different story they can tell. And so what I do is I generally like, you know, reach out to them and I get them on Zoom, and then I just kind of interview them about just different shit from hip hop culture, geek culture, whether it's comic books, the dopest album, movies, and the shit that they're working on. So it's been dope because I was able to interview people like Van Lathan from TMZ, Timothy De La Ghetto.
That was a good one.
Yeah, that was a dope one. Kev on Stage, Mickey Fab.
Kev on Stage was recently, right? That was one of the last ones you did.
Yeah, that was probably like the last 4 or 5 ones.
Okay.
Cynthia Luciette from All Def Digital. Like just different ones that I've been, you know, different people, you know, that I've been able to interview and just kind of get build a good rapport with them and have good conversation with them and everything.
So who was your favorite so far then?
Low key, it's actually Cynthia Luciette. So you know, for those who know her, like when you see her sketches, she worked with a lot of people, like worked with all the people doing those Instagram sketches, and she's part of All Def Digital. But like she was unfiltered, and like when you watch her skits and her sketches, you kind of see that, but like you think it's an act. But like nah, like she's
really like that.
She was really like that, unfiltered. You know what I'm saying? Talking about, you know, she was talking about fucking, talking about the industry, talking about niggas being bitches. Like she was saying like how motherfuckers was being jealous of her, and like she was like most of the jealousy come from the dudes, and like they be like acting weird because they really want to fuck. Like she was like super
she put
open.
It out there.
She put it out there, and it was just so dope. You know what I'm saying? And I thought that like that's the energy that I be looking for when I'm doing these interviews. Somebody that's just like, let's just chop it up. And like she even said it. She was like, man, she was like, it's funny because I just met you, but I'm just letting this all go because I feel comfortable talking to you.
See, that's what I'm trying to set up here too, and that's why I ask certain questions that'll you bring out a reaction out of a motherfucker. Either you're gonna have a nice story, or it's gonna be a shitty story, or it's gonna feel some type of way about something. And I just feel like them are always gonna be the best responses. Yeah, definitely, because it's like it's something that people can't get from somewhere else, and that's what makes the interview dope. Because like if you listen or look at any other interview, like you don't get that from her. But when you watch my interview, you'll get that from her. Same thing with you building. Like, you know, like that story, I don't think I told that story yet about Lupe and V.O.B. like publicly. Like you know, inner circles, I talk to certain people about it, but like this will be the first time on camera that I told that. You heard it here first, motherfuckers. But that's one of the reasons why I like to do this though, because some shit just needs to be documented. Yeah. And even if there's not like actual their documentation, but like at least somebody talking about it and people can look back at it and be like, so this is the story. That's really what I like. I'm actually gonna eventually branch out to Famous and Friends story time.
Oh man, I got a good one. I'm not gonna tell it on here, but
yeah, we gonna most definitely bring
because I gotta tell you about the story about how we almost fought Plies.
Yeah,
that one we'll say.
We'll turn this off and turn it back on. We might have to start that. Be the first one, maybe. That already sounds fucking hilarious. Plies is the fucking character.
He is, bro.
Like, he's also all right. We'll say that for another day. Yeah. So let's switch it up a little bit. Who's the hottest artist during the pandemic?
During the pandemic?
Yeah. So since COVID stopped and everything shut down and opened back up, who's working Who's been everywhere?
Man, I'm gonna go with Griselda, bro. Like I fuck with Griselda, tough.
Heavy Benny the Butcher is the fucking man.
Yeah, and like I was funny. We was just having a Facebook discussion about it, and it was like it's funny because we was somebody saying like Conway rap like he's tired of people saying Benny the Butcher is the dopest, right?
Benny Butcher is the dopest. I'm gonna put that out there.
But here's the thing. That's what made Griselda so dope. That's that old vibe. Like when you think about old Rockefeller or old Locke,
yeah, that's some heavy conversations.
They used to compete with each other. You know what I'm saying? Within each other, but it was like not like hate, but like like I know Styles gonna come with it, so I gotta
bring
go hard.
the best pen in this song? You know
right?
What I'm
you
saying?
know what I'm saying? So like I feel like Griselda has that, like you know what I'm saying? Like they have that inner like okay, like I know Benny gonna come with it, so Conway gonna come with it. Conway like I know, you know what I'm saying? You know, in the same way, Benny like I know Conway gonna come with it, so let me come with it. Like it's just like that whole realm. I think that and like the way they put out music, like they don't miss, man. They put out so much dope music. Yeah.
On top of that, too, it's like I feel like they complement each other very well. They do the same thing, but they do it differently still. And it's just like I can't really think of another. Maybe like Cash Money would be a good example. They all had a similar style. They had similar content.
I see what you're saying, yeah.
But they all had their own flavor to it. It's just like that still made them unique.
Yeah.
I fuck with Griselda heavy. They got the best ad libs in rap
boom,
history.
boom,
Boom, boom, boom, boom. Yo, I love that shit. I'm using trapping artists a bitch.
Yeah.
Man, yeah, they don't miss.
Yeah.
I can't think of bro's name who makes the beats. Derringer. Fire. Yeah. Like, and I guess it's like all original shit.
Yeah, man.
Like, they don't fuck with the samples, which I love making samples as a producer.
I love both, but like I said, it gives me that old Mobb Deep feel.
I love that shit.
Yeah, because it got that grittiness to it, and that's why, you know what I'm saying? Like that, you know, it's that Alchemist, that, you know what I'm saying? It's that type of grittiness that Griselda brings that I fuck with heavily.
All right, so let's switch it up a little bit. So we got Ice Cube working with Trump.
Yeah, man.
Are you a Trump supporter or are you a Biden supporter?
No. Fuck no.
Because you never know nowadays.
That is true.
I don't think no one's really going to tell you they're a Trump supporter.
Nah, not at all.
I don't think that's the move anyways, but like...
Well, and my shit about, like, here's the thing, like, I don't think Biden is even better, bro. Like,
yeah, I'm not
like
voting
to that
this
point.
year.
But to this point, like, at this point, I'm like, my thing is we got to get Trump the fuck out of here by all means. So we got to settle for Biden for a while. Like that's like the lesser of both evils.
I don't remember. I don't remember Biden getting this much hate though running with Obama.
Well, here's the thing about it's shit came out afterwards, and that's why.
Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah,
okay,
shit came out afterwards. But here's what I think was potentially going to happen, and I was like, I'm more invested in that. I'm like, all right, I don't really trust Biden too much like that, but however, I got more stake in Kamala. And so I was like, I feel like Biden ain't going to even serve. If Biden get in, he's not going to serve his full term. He's going to eventually end up stepping down, and Kamala's going to end up having to run in.
Do you mean he's going to die because he's old?
I mean either that or he's going to get too sick.
I put that part in there. He didn't say that.
But like the Cube shit is wild because like I get what Cube's trying to do. Like I was talking about it the other day. It's like I get what Cube is trying to do. My issue isn't with Cube's plan. My issue is that with this cabinet, this Republican, like, because I'm not even against us working with Republicans, you know, but I'm like, but this Republican cabinet under Trump, they're like, I guarantee you, they just feeding them bullshit so that way they can get them on the side to help kind of swing a couple of votes. Because like, what his plan is, like, yeah, it makes sense. And his reasoning for it is what he was saying. He was like, he went to the Republicans and he went to the Democrats, and he was like, the Republicans said, all right, let's work on the plan now. The Democrats said, wait till after election. To me, I'm like, that's not far-fetched. Like, bro, you hitting them up within the month of the election. Yeah, wait until after the election. Let's do, like, this is our priority number one. Let's get bro out of here, and then we can implement your plan.
On top of that, just see if he wins again, and then you can work with him.
Yeah.
Let's just focus on the winner more than anything. Because ain't nobody could, like, we all know, even if he did come up with a plan with Trump ain't gonna do nothing until he gets reelected.
And that's what I was telling people. I was like, what's funny is, like, if you look at the Republican Party now, like, that's under Trump, like, you can tell, like, they're following suit with Trump. once Trump is out of here, that Republican Party gonna look different. It's still gonna be Republicans versus Democrats.
I think it
but
depends,
it's more
though.
reasonable without Trump.
Trump is not the problem. Pence is the problem.
Well, Pence is definitely a problem.
Like, Trump is like a small little blemish compared to the pimple face of Pence. You know what I'm saying?
No, 100%. I always tell people like when I remember when Trump first got in, I was like, bro, like their whole cabinet is fucked up because I was like, Trump is a problem because like just the way he is, but like Pence is Trump, but who knows how to do politics.
But I feel like
and
Pence
that's
is
why
the
it's fucked
actual
up.
bad ideas. I don't think Trump is that racist or none of that. I just feel like he's playing a role.
It seems like he's playing a role.
Making him. Let's just say Trump's in front, Pence is poking him with the stick. Say this shit.
That's what I said. Like Pence and Trump, they're pretty much the same, but the difference between Pence is that he knows politics and Trump doesn't.
No, Pence is evil. Pence is
so
pure
you get somebody that rich, that entitled, but also knows the politic game. Like we fucked.
That's true. That's why I'm happy Trump didn't die because Pence would have started
World
War III. I feel
like
that. I just feel like something more dramatic that already happened this year would have happened if Trump would have died and Pence would have took over.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Politics is weird, especially with everything going on.
Politics is wild, man.
We don't got no good candidates this year, though. That's like the thing.
That's pretty much why we're fucked. It's like we need to just like start over, get some new candidates. Like I said, it's funny because like I started looking more into the independent parties recently. Just like because I feel like we need to change. We need to change. You know, like no more like we just got to change the whole structure, man.
I feel that way about a lot of shit though, about policing, about like. There's not like everyone. There's not no going back. That don't make sense. We need something new.
Yeah, we need something new.
And I mean that in like the smallest, localist sense to like the biggest government.
Yeah.
All right. So let's switch it up. Let's go. We got the Trumpy talk out the way.
Yeah.
So are we going Xbox or PlayStation?
I'm PlayStation, man.
Just all the way. No, that was no thought, nothing.
Yeah,
it's just like pure PlayStation.
Yeah, I'm for pure PlayStation, man. Getting that PS5 and everything.
Oh, so what makes one better than the other?
You know, for me, I think at this point it's just loyalty as well because like my bro, he has Xbox and like they got some like legit dope titles. You know what I'm saying? Gears, with the Gears of War, like some shit that they fuck with over there. But like I don't know, for the most part, it's just loyalty. I've been PlayStation since PlayStation 2, and at that point, like I just haven't really switched over.
See, I'm one of the rare people that went from PlayStation 2 to Xbox 360 to PS4.
Okay.
For no reason either. I just buy whatever I can get it come up on.
Right?
I ain't even gonna lie.
Whatever you get the plug on.
For real. That's how it was with my last few systems. So it's just like.
That's how I switched over from Android to Apple. Like I was a big Android person, and then like I remember like legit walking out of Walgreens, and it was a crackhead. He was like, "Hey man, I got this." It was the iPhone 5 at that point, and he was like, "I got this iPhone 5. I'll give it to you for $20." And I was like, all right.
Bad.
So I gave him $20. I switched it over, and then I was like, all right, you know what I'm saying? This is pretty smooth. And then ever since then, I just been getting the iPhones ever since then.
Shit, you ain't wrong. I hate iPhones. I had one for work. Maybe because it was a work one. It was just like they never called me for nothing good. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like fuck this phone.
Like fuck this motherfucking phone, man.
All right, my man. Any final thoughts? Any last things we didn't bring up you want to talk about? Or I know you talked about your project coming out. You got a release date for that or anything in mind?
I'm trying to get it. I'm definitely trying to get it in November. Like I said, we literally just started the re-record process. This album is like gonna be like, it's gonna be probably like my best album next to my first album. My first album, my Unapologetic Black Thoughts, it got a lot of traction and did really dope. You know what I'm saying? And that was more so the topic and theme around just like the injustices that are going on, police brutality, like all that shit, right? So like it had a meaning, and a lot of people felt that. This album that I'm working on, All I Ever Wanted Was Opportunity, I'm getting more personal with just like my inner struggles and shit. So like my insecurities with, you know what I'm saying, with just in general music, life, the self-doubt and everything like that. And I think that when you have projects like that where like it comes from a place of feeling, I think it's going to be something that's that people gravitate towards. And
I feel like when it's more of an intimate, personal project, it's just you can't help but gravitate towards it.
Yeah,
because they're saying things that people won't say out loud.
Yeah.
Even if it's some simple shit, you know what
Right.
I'm saying? But if you say something that just relates to somebody, that shit just gonna strike a deep nerve.
Yeah.
Like you just instantly gonna connect with something better than just them liking the song.
Yeah. And I'm probably gonna be dropping the first single soon. It's called Breathe featuring Graph. So like, you know what I'm saying, like shout out Graph, man. Like he was like coming up in the mixtape game. That was somebody that I looked up to, you know what I'm saying? He was down with all that shit, you know what I'm saying, with Joe Buttons and all them. So like I was able to get him on a joint, and shout out to my producer K Mel. He's my go-to producer. If you heard my music, mostly all of the beats are coming from K Mel, but he's like again producing all over this project. He got that, but that's gonna probably be my first single that I'm dropping off of that. And then yeah, man, that project's gonna be coming soon. And then I'm gonna go crazy with it, man. You know what I'm saying? Me and Famous motherfucker gonna knock out some videos for that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Who was the singer in the song that we did?
Sarita Campbell, man.
Yeah,
yep.
That was a dope collab.
Hey, you know what? We may hit you. Like I said, me and her just did a single on her project called American Dream. That she was like, hey, we gotta do a video for this. I'm like, fucking hell yeah.
Let's get it.
Like, you know what I'm saying? I may slide that, you know, trying to connect y'all there because like yeah, she loved it. And like what's funny is she was a singer, but like she spits. And
okay, that's dope.
I'll let you get a little sneak preview of it, but she bodies that shit. And but yeah, man, like just project after project. COVID slowed shit down because like what I wanted to do with my last project, Son of a Soldier, I had a couple of other videos that I wanted to do, but COVID slowed everything down. But like with everything potentially getting ready to open up, my goal is to shoot a video for every song on this project. This new project that I'm working on. So I'm planning on having content after content after content all through 2021, man.
That's how it should be. Yeah. Only thing I'd be scared of is shutting it back down.
Well, see, that's why
you just got to get ready for when. Well, I don't want to say when, but if that happens.
Well, the thing is, like, you know what I'm saying, with my new studio my new Geek Set studio that we got a lot of dope locations that I can shoot at. And then, like I said, I keep on forgetting you got a full fucking warehouse. So like I said, that right there can cover at least, you know what I'm saying, between my location and your location can cover at least 6 different videos. Is that?
and shout out my homie Blade and shit. We gonna try to start building some stuff in here.
Yeah, man.
So we hopefully next time you come in here, it looks a little different. At least a little part of it looks a little different.
That's the thing, section shit off and shit like that. You can have like literally in this room, I already see 4 different scenes that you can shoot and shit. Easily.
So that's,
you know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much, even if I can't do outside videos, just be getting creative and doing videos in locations where I can shoot. But like, you know what I'm saying? But that's the goal, man, is to get that content out there, you know what I'm saying? Shit that people could just rock to, man.
And last but not least, where can we find you at?
Man, I'm young_Deuces, DEUCES on all platforms. That's Instagram, Twitter, it's fucking TikTok, whatever. Because like what I do, like now a lot of the shit I don't post on. Like I post on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook the most. But like what I do is I grab my screen name on everything just to be on the safe side, just in case if I do gotta start using it, like nobody's grabbing my screen name. So like anytime a new platform come out, I just log on, grab the screen name, and then just leave it as it is. And then like every now and then I'm like, oh shit, niggas using that now? All right, let me hop on that real quick, start posting shit on there. But yeah, man. And then youngdeuces.com. That's where you can generally get everything. That has all my music videos, has all my interviews that I did, has everything, all the links to all my albums. Yeah, man. Youngdeuces.com would be the central hub to find everything.
Much love, my brother. Appreciate you coming out.
Thanks for having me, bro, man. I loved it, man.